Now let's look at the third question, which asks, which of these structures leads to a peritubular capillary plexus? That's the first part of the question. And which of these structures opens into a minor calyx? So let's first identify all these structures. So A, as you can see here, is the efferent arteriole. B is the afferent arteriole, and the way you will identify it, if you remember, the afferent arteriole comes off from the interlobular artery, or also known as the cortical radiate artery. Now this is the arcuate artery, and this artery here is the interlobular or the cortical radiate artery, and arising from this you can see this B coming out. Then it goes in here, forms the glomerulus, and the efferent arteriole exits from the glomerulus. It has no connection to this cortical radiate artery. So you can see it has no connection. So therefore this is the efferent and this one is the afferent. Where you see the afferent connected to this interlobular or cortical radiate artery, that would be the afferent arteriole. Now all of this is the peritubular capillary plexus. C is the loop of Henle, so this is the loop of Henle, and D is the collecting duct. So now it says, which of these structures leads to a peritubular capillary plexus? As you can see from this diagram itself, you can see that this A is the one which leads to a peritubular capillary plexus, which is the efferent arteriole. And then it asks, which of these structures opens into a minor calyx? Obviously, none of the arterioles will open into a minor calyx. So that means the second part of the question, anywhere where you have an A and a B, you can exclude that choice. So this one can be excluded. So it has to be one of the tubes. So it either is the loop of Henle or the collecting duct. Now the loop of Henle does not open anywhere. It goes back up and becomes the distal convoluted tubule. It is the collecting duct which opens into a minor calyx. So it is D which opens into a minor calyx, and it's very important for you to know the order. So the collecting duct will open into a minor calyx, and the point actually where it opens is this area is the apex of the pyramid, which is known as the papilla. So the collecting duct opens into a minor calyx. The minor calyx, you have a couple of minor calyces, they open into a major calyx, and then the major calyx opens into the pelvis, and then the pelvis becomes the ureter. So you have collecting duct going into minor calyx, which opens into a major calyx. The major calyx goes into the pelvis, and the pelvis then leads into the ureter. So we've determined that A is the one which gives rise to the peritubular capillary plexus, and D is the one which opens into a minor calyx. So it would be A and D. So this would be the choice, the correct choice. And just to show you, the same picture is what is seen here, and I'm showing you this. So if you look at this diagram here, you can see again it is very similar to what you saw earlier. So these are the arcuate vessels. This is the interlobular artery, and here coming from the artery, this branch here is the afferent arteriole, leads into a glomerulus, and then you can see this one which has no connection with the interlobular artery. This is the efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole gives rise to this whole bunch of capillary plexus, which is called the peritubular capillary plexus. That capillary plexus finally leads into a vein which exits and gets into the interlobular vein. Then you can see here in yellow or light yellow, here seen better here. So here again you can see this is the afferent arteriole, this is the efferent arteriole. Notice how the afferent comes off from this interlobular artery. Here's the efferent arteriole. This is the Bowman's capsule, glomerulus. So this is the proximal convoluted tubule. This is the this is the loop of Henle. This here is the distal convoluted tubule. So this is the loop of Henle. This part here is the loop of Henle. So let me just do that again. So here is efferent arteriole. This is afferent, the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle. Here is the distal convoluted tubule, and many of these open into the collecting duct, and this collecting duct is the one which will open into the minor calyx. Very often students, when asked what opens into the minor calyx, they'll say the major calyx. The major calyx doesn't open into minor. The minor is the one which opens into the major calyx. It's the other way around. So this should now explain how you identify the arteries and how you identify the various other parts of the nephron.